Welcome, I'm Kinetic Symphony. This is Dave. I hunt down and report on weird and true mysterious stories, from glitches to the supernatural. Case file number 1826, written by TSN88. The Post and the Panic. A morning beyond manic. I was having breakfast at a bakery with my husband and toddler today. I saw an Instagram post from a restaurant we used to go to for brunch. It was an apology note to their clients and followers, stating that a few days ago, a client started feeling ill at the restaurant, and despite all their desperate calls for a doctor in the room, ambulance, neighbors, and so on, the young lady, unfortunately, passed before the paramedics arrived. They did all of that with the restaurant open. They just isolated the girl upstairs, and pretended to the other patrons that everything was A-OK and kept serving food. Of course, that blew up as insensitive, dangerous, and disrespectful, and the girl's family is probably going to sue them. Anyway, as I finished reading their piece, I gave my phone to my husband so he could read it too, and hell me sideways. Some man in the bakery started screaming and running to every table, asking if anyone was a doctor or a nurse because someone at his table was collapsing, and everyone started calling emergency numbers, going to the streets nearby to find a clinic or doctor's house. The similarities were so eerie, we both got goosebumps. Thankfully, the person that was feeling sick got better, and help arrived quickly. But it was so odd to live something we were just reading at the palm of our hands at the same time in real life. Case file 1826. The Post and the Panic. A morning beyond manic. Wow, so that restaurant that you were talking about, or that was talked about, was truly insensitive. To continue serving guests when someone is potentially dying upstairs? That's insane. Can't even imagine that. Take a break, at least for a few hours. Damn. They were in dire straits financially or something? I don't know, but okay. How can reading that materialize that in your reality, in your instant? Unless it was a placeholder human. Going back to that, if there are placeholder humans, it makes sense, because then it's easier to control situations and scenarios. If every single human being is a real person, or, with a soul and capable of free will, then controlling things would be almost impossible. I mean, you could influence certain things, make people like certain things and so on, but to manifest this kind of scenario would be virtually impossible unless you can control individual people and induce in them exact things that you want, like angels giving Sam cancer just at the whim. Are there guardian angels that are required to produce certain events? And I guess maybe, would they do that to people who have souls, who are real player characters? I kind of wonder if this is a simulation, how brutal that we sign up for, because there's a lot of brutality in the world. Not to go too much into it. You have children dying from illnesses, and that's not their fault. Are they real people? They tether in via a soul just to suffer for a little bit and then re-emerge in the real world? Why would anyone want to choose that? Maybe we don't. Maybe we choose to sign up for the server, but knowing that where we end up is random and could be brutal. I could see that. Right now, there are games that I play that are intentionally made to be brutal and painful almost. So maybe if you're kind of bored or just want a new novel experience, you would risk it. It's like the Barty bought every flavor bean in Harry Potter, where it's a box of an assortment of beans, jelly beans, where it could be any possible flavor. You hope that you get licorice or watermelon or strawberry, but you could get earwax or boogers or any other nonsense that you do not want to be tasting. You take the risk anyways because there's a certain excitement about that, right? Even though it could end up being extremely bad. So maybe that is sort of this server, where this server is meant to be an anything that can possibly happen. Anything. And no matter, you don't get to choose where you're born. That would make sense. We are living in a chaotic environment by design. Would explain a lot. And maybe even that design is meant to have guardian angels, administrators of the universe, the simulation, that are meant to instill a bit of excitement and chaos, like giving someone a foodborne illness in a restaurant after you read about someone having a foodborne illness in a different restaurant, just to get you wondering, get your blood pumping. It kinda makes sense. Case file number 1827, written by Formal Plum 2285. A day of fun. 2 wallets is 1. My Legoland glitch left us all stunned. As a kid, I was going on a class field trip to Legoland. This was before kids had phones. I had a mint green wallet full of pics of all my friends, etc., and what would equal about $100 today. Legoland is like 2 hours away, so we went early in the morning to be there when they opened. We had an amazing day, did all the rides, ate loads of candy floss, ice cream, etc. So I was a very happy kid when I got home that evening. As soon as I opened the door at home, my mom came running, ready to hug me and comfort me as she was certain I would be in so much distress. Because when she got home from work, she saw my wallet was on the kitchen counter. She felt so sad for me because I love amusement parks, and without my wallet I couldn't pay for the entrance and rides and food and snacks. So she thought I had just been sitting on the bus the entire day. Well, I didn't, because I had my wallet with me. My mom was happy I had a great day, but she was also quite confused, because my wallet was indeed at the kitchen counter. I opened my bag to show my mom I also had my wallet, except it wasn't there any longer. The things I'd bought in Legoland were still there, however. It remained a mystery in our family. It's just recently I got to think about it being a glitch in the Matrix. A pretty good glitch, because I had spent the $100, but they were still in the wallet at home. I've had 2 other glitches that I'm aware of. I'll share those another day. Case file 1827. A day of fun, 2 wallets is 1. My Legoland glitch left us all stunned. So this transcends a duplication and reappearance, because the money you had spent at Legoland was back in your wallet at home. So it wasn't just a disappearance and reemergence. It wasn't just duplication. It was a time reset. If it was a duplication, well, you would have lost it. And then at that moment, however money left you had then would have reappeared at home. Like you had $57 left, there would be $57 in that wallet. No, this one was a time reset on the wallet too. For whatever reason, you needed to have that money. It's $100 equivalent, so it's not nothing. But yeah, sounds like you had a good day and you get to keep the money, so can't complain about this one. Case file number 1828, written by Keypop1123. A digital camera lost in the night. A tale of the 2 cars and a Costa Rican plight. I lived in Costa Rica through the late 90s. From time to time, my family would come to visit me from the States. This particular time, my father and older brother had come down for a week or so. It was especially exciting because my father had brought a brand new digital camera. It was when they first came out, and they were very expensive. We just couldn't get over how one camera could hold around 400 images. It was so cool to be able to take as many photos as you wanted, and not have to worry about wasting film. Anyhow, one evening, we all hopped in the rental car my dad had rented, and went out to a nice sunset dinner. We ate, paid the bill, and hopped back into the rental car and headed back to the hotel, which was only a couple minutes away. It wasn't until we went to exit the vehicle that it occurred to us that something was off. For one, there were tons of coins in the cup holders, various items which were not ours. We had gotten into someone else's rental car and driven to our hotel. The car was exactly identical, late 90s model, white Hyundai mini SUV, and our key unlocked it and drove it and everything. For some reason we all panicked, jumped back into the vehicle, which was pretty much stolen, speed back to the restaurant parking lot, jumped out of the stolen vehicle, locked it, and hopped into our rental car and sped off, relieved that the other party was none the wiser of what had happened. We were actually joking about what smooth criminals we were. Could not fathom how the rental car company would issue identical cars with matching keys, especially in a country so small. So once again, we arrive at the hotel, get out of the rental car, and realize, crap, we have left a brand new digital camera in the other car. We once again sped off to the restaurant, and were devastated when we discovered that the other car had already left the premises. We spent the next several hours driving around town hoping we would spot the other vehicle, but soon realized after flagging down several identical vehicles that there were dozens of white, late-model mini Hyundai SUVs, if not hundreds, and the camera was gone forever. It wasn't the cost of the camera, but the hundreds of photos of friends and family that were lost, never to be seen again. It wasn't until after the fact that we saw the humor in it, that someone or someone's somewhere out there would be telling the story for years about the time they went to Costa Rica and had a digital camera mysteriously show up in their vehicle. I would always wonder who those blonde gringos were in the photos, and why and how it appeared. So perhaps someone out there will have their very own story about this from their perspective. About that very night the mystery camera with the mystery family made its way into their lives. Could you be out there? I would love to have those photos 25 years later. Case notes for file 1828. A digital camera lost in the night. A tale of the two cars and a Costa Rican Plight. This seems like an instance of several extremely unlikely coincidences within the realm of practical explanation. And yeah, it does make you wonder how the people would have reacted in that SUV where they found a bunch of pictures. You could almost say from their perspective that was a glitch in the Matrix. They'd just go inside to eat, they come back, and now they have a camera filled with pictures of people they don't know? How weird would that be? I mean, it wouldn't be a duplication and reappearance because it wasn't their camera, but it still, from their perspective, would be extremely trippy. And you know, back in the day, in the 90s growing up, when I was a kid, my parents still would buy those Kodiak disposable cameras. Took so many pictures with those. My mom never wanted me to touch the actual picture because I would smudge it up sometimes. Oh man. Certain classic vibe that I reminisce about. Yeah. Different time for sure. Okay, time for the joke of the day. My boss yelled at me the other day. "You've got to be the worst train driver in history. How many trains did you derail last year?" And I said, "I can't say for sure. It's too hard to keep track." These dad jokes are gonna kill me. Like the video, subscribe, hit the bell. Kinetic Symphony signing off.